Welcome back! In today's video, you'll join me on an unforgettable clifftop adventure involving this beautiful sunset. I will also be answering this important question.
I've realised recently there's one thing I've done as a photographer over the last few years that has massively improved my photography.
But first, it's time to announce what the next photography challenge is going to be.
Over the last few months, we've all been out participating in different photography challenges. So far, we've photographed water, we've photographed earth, and we've photographed fire. And this month, we're undertaking the final challenge of the elements. And if you haven't guessed already, we are of course heading out to photograph the beautiful element of air. This one's probably going to be the most challenging element to photograph. I'm really looking forward to seeing what images you all come up with. I've headed out today because, as you can see, it's a gorgeous sunny day. There's barely any clouds in the sky. I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to photograph, but I guess that's part of the fun. But what I have done is come up to the cliff tops where I've got a beautiful vast expanse of the sky and the beautiful blueness that we've got here today. And I'm just going to see what comes to me. Like I say, air is going to be a very difficult challenge, but I'm sure we'll all find something to photograph. So let's begin the air photography challenge. So I think I may have just found my first image of the afternoon. Over here, the moon has risen. It's a beautiful moon just now. It's only up at a quarter moon, and it's risen above the cliffs here. And we've got this beautiful, very subtle small line of clouds underneath it. It's a very simple image, but I think with this air challenge, one of the things I want to think about is minimalism and creating that sense of space that the sky creates. I have some other really creative ideas for the air challenge as well, but definitely the minimalism and using the sky and its vast expanse is definitely something I want to utilise in this challenge. And as soon as I saw that moon over there, I just thought I have to take this image. Now, this image would look much better in about 45 minutes when the sun has almost set. But by that point, the moon is probably going to be higher in the sky as well. So what I've done to try and make the most of this image and what we do have right now in terms of positioning and light is I put my polarizing filter on my camera, which is allowing me to darken down the sky around the moon and really bring it out. Because without it, you could still see the moon, but it wasn't quite as obvious as when I used the polarizer. So very simple image, very minimalist, but that's the first shot of the air photography challenge for me. And yeah, I'm excited to see what else comes up in the next hour or so before the sun sets. I think I've just found my next photographic opportunity. Out there in the sea, we've got 6 wind turbines, and above them we've got this beautiful puffy defined clouds. And I've just created an image actually with my 24-200mm lens, but they're still quite far away and quite a lot of vast expanse around them. And I quite like it from a very minimal perspective. You can just make out the wind turbines and you've got that vast expanse around it to showcase the air. But I thought what I might do is put my lens that goes up to 400mm on, zoom right into them to really emphasise them with the beautiful puffy cloud above them and see how that works. Trying different focal lengths to get different results I think is a great way to approach these challenges, and use all the lenses you have, because you never know what you may be able to create by doing that. So this video is going to be all about very minimalist shots. Very, very minimalist shots, showcasing how beautiful simplicity and minimalism can be, and really pushing that to the limits to showcase that vast air and sky. Yeah, not the sort of images I normally take, but it's exciting to try something new, and that's what these challenges are all about. So let's get that lens on and see how I get on. I've got to say, this lens is absolutely incredible. The 100 to 400 Nikkor Z lens. The sharpness of this thing, it's just insane. And zooming into those wind turbines, I was able to get so much closer to them, as you'll just have seen. And it also, not only did it make the wind turbines more prominent in the frame, it also really enhanced the beauty of those clouds, which look beautiful from here, but when you can zoom in and really see them, wow. Incredible. I think what I'm going to do, we aren't far now from sunset actually. I think we've only got maybe about half an hour. Yeah, half an hour until sunset, and I'm hoping the sun is setting in that direction, so the wind turbines are 180 degrees from where the sun is setting, and quite often when you've got clouds in the opposite direction, they can sometimes light up that beautiful pinky purpley colour. So I think I'm just going to stand here and watch the light change over the next half an hour and hope that they start to light up a beautiful colour and get a nice image of them, because this really depicts air. You've got wind turbines, which of course use air and wind to generate power. You've got the clouds, which are created by wind and air and everything going on in the atmosphere. And then you've got the sea surrounding them, which is also impacted by the air, depending on how still or how rough it is. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Again, not something I photograph that often, if ever, but this challenge has made me think outside the box and photograph something new and really put my gear to the test and try out everything. I've used 3 different lenses today and they've all given me completely different results. And I'm excited to see what the results of this is going to be when the light changes too.
While I waited for the light to change, I decided to look around and use my telephoto lens to track flying birds through the sky. My initial images didn't turn out too great, but when the sunset light turned the sky orange, the world around me truly began to shine. A thought's just come to mind and I really wanted to share this with you all. I've realised recently there's one thing I've done as a photographer over the last few years that has massively improved my photography. And as I said to you, I was going to wait for the clouds above the wind turbines to change colour. That's not happened. We've got some nice purples and pinks on the clouds further to the right of the wind turbines, but actually the ones above the wind turbines haven't really changed colour at all. But as you'll just have seen, we just had the most amazing orange glowing sunset. And sticking with the air theme, I began photographing birds flying through the sky. I initially started to try and get shots of them flying past the moon, and then I did it with the clouds and I did it around the sunset. And this is a thing that I've changed. I don't sit around now and wait for the light to change to get that one image. We often hear about this in landscape photography, especially if you're going to an iconic location. You get there early, you set up, you've got your camera on your tripod and you wait for the light. And yes, you may be lucky and get the light, but as many of you will know, more times than not, the light doesn't always materialise in the way that you'd hoped it would.
And this is why I don't really sit around waiting for that one image, because it doesn't always happen. So what I do, and I've done this for a few years now, is I come to a location, I look at potential image opportunities, I take them as I see them, and I think that might look better in half an hour when the light's different. I'll bear it in mind, but in the meantime, I'll photograph whatever else materialises. And in doing that, I've ended up getting more images that I like when I'm out with my camera, purely because I am open and ready to photograph whatever happens. And those images that I visualised when I first arrived on location are always in the back of my mind, but I'm ready to take photographs of whatever comes my way. And that, honestly, that has been the single most thing I feel that's improved my photography the most. It's just being open to everything, to using every piece of kit I have to get different focal lengths, different vantage points, different effects, and just going with the flow. I genuinely believe you can get good photographs in all weather conditions, and all moods, and all lights, and all locations. You just have to be open to photographing different things and trying different techniques. And today I came to this beautiful cliff-top location, which most people would probably come to for long exposures. And rather than doing long exposures and photographing the cliffs, I've zoomed into other elements of the landscape to do this air photography challenge. And I have got some images today that I'm pretty happy with. And it's just all come from being open and reacting to whatever happens. So if you find you go out on location and you sit and you wait for the light and it doesn't always materialise, and then you get home and you're disappointed, try and be a bit more spontaneous. It's not for everybody. There are some photographers who genuinely love just sitting waiting for the light, and it's a part of almost meditation for them. And if that's how you do photography and it works for you, fantastic. But if you are finding that you're getting a bit frustrated or disheartened with your images, that's one tip to try. And that is something that I regularly share with my mentorship clients as well. It's just being open to whatever happens. So yeah, that's that. Thank you again for joining me on another adventure. It's been a beautiful afternoon, and I'm really excited to see what images you guys come up with for the air photography challenge. I will have it running until the beginning of January. I'll set the date when I get home and look at my calendar, and I'll put it down here for you. So you've got until sometime in the first week or two of January to complete this challenge. Once again, if you hashtag Kim's Photography Challenge on Instagram or Vero to share your images with me. And if you don't have Instagram or Vero, you can email me your images instead. I am so excited to see what you come up with. Genuinely, this is probably the most challenging of the challenges so far, and I am excited to see what you come up with. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time.